Hey guys, Redneck Mini 14 here, and today I'm going to illustrate a point with the Ruger P series that I've heard but I never really believed, and that is the fact that not all Ruger P series magazines, 9mm magazines, will work in every P series 9mm gun. I've heard this several times on YouTube and in forums, but I never really believed it because nobody ever actually proved the point. They would just say it and then move on to something else. But today, I can tell you, after owning both guns, I can tell you that it is true, and I'm going to illustrate the point so that you know exactly why it doesn't work. So, on the left, we have my Ruger P85, and on the right we have my Cerakoted Ruger P89. Both really good guns. And the magazines that I have here, from left to right, we have the P85 magazine. This is one of two that came with the P85. This is the magazine that came with this P89. I believe it is a Ruger factory magazine. Ruger has several variations of their older magazines. So this one, the witness holes are on the back, and this one, the witness holes are on the side. But I do believe these are both old Ruger factory magazines. This one here is a Mekgar 17-round magazine. It is a nickel-plated magazine. Very good magazine. And then on the right, we have the stainless steel Ruger factory new production magazine. Now, I got a few magazines in the mail the other day, and I wanted to see if they would, pop into place and lock the slide back on all my guns. And so I popped them in, and the Ruger factory magazine does not work in the Ruger P85. Now, I never really paid much attention, but when they have these guns listed, or these magazines listed, they say P89 and up. And the box itself says P89 and actually starts off with a specific serial number and says and up. So I'll just show this right here. The P85 magazine pops into place easily. The P89 magazine pops into place just fine. Mekgar mag pops in just fine. But when we get to the new production Ruger mag, it does not pop in. The reason for that is, if you remember in my original P85 versus P89 video, the ejector is different, and if you can see here, the ejector comes up from the side and goes over the feed lip of the magazine. So let me see if this will show up. So get it to focus. Okay, so if you can see here, the ejector comes up and over the side of the magazine, whereas on the P89, the ejector comes in from the back. You can see, let me take the mag out real quick. You can see it's kind of like a little finger or something that just sticks out there, and it actually goes over the back of the magazine and comes in straight from the back. So this is significant because these older Ruger magazines, I don't know if you can really tell just by looking at them, but the older magazines have a different geometric shape and size on the feed lips themselves. So I guess the new production factory magazines are, they have either thicker feed lips or they're, at a slightly different angle. So let me try to get these in the right order here. So when you push a new production magazine up into the action, it actually contacts the ejector. And yes, you can, if the slide is locked back, you can force the magazine into the gun and it'll click into place. But the problem lies in the fact that when you do that, you push the ejector up, and now the slide is contacting the ejector where you have this little cutout right here. It's going to be kind of hard to see, but there's a cutout in here where the ejector rides within the slide. And when you push the new production magazine up and force it in, it actually pushes the ejector up, and the slide now contacts the ejector while it's firing, so you run the risk of your ejector breaking, and you don't want that to happen. So my advice to you is to, if you have a P85, stay away from new production Ruger magazines. I would go with either looking for some old production magazines, in other words, where they have the metal base plate like this. All of the older ones, like I guess before 94, before the Clinton ban, I guess, is when they used these, and then I guess after the Clinton ban they used this type of base plate and actually changed the actual magazine itself. So you can look for the old production factory magazines, or better yet, you could get some new production Mekgar mags. These are patterned after the original magazines. So these will work in a P85 and all other 9mm P series. And I've had really good luck with these. Now, if you want to go with a different company, a different aftermarket magazine company, I stay away from ProMag because they are patterned after the newer magazines, and they are pretty much the same, as far as the geometrics go, and it actually lists them as P89 and up, just like these factory magazines. So stay away from ProMag. In fact, I say stay away from ProMag with about 90% of their magazines. There are some good ones out there, like the 795 mags and the some of the Mini 14 mags, and then maybe their AR and AK mags. But just about everything that I hear, most ProMag magazines, they don't even work worth a crap, so don't even waste your money. The only other company that I know of off the top of my head that still makes new production P-Series magazines is Triple K, and they're kind of expensive brand new. The only place I know you can actually buy them brand new is through Triple K. Or you can buy them, I guess, used on Gunbroker. They usually have them, people sell them for 2 and 3 packs for a pretty decent price. And they're basically the same look as the Mekgars or the older versions, and they should work in the P85. I believe they are listed as P85, P89 magazines. Now, I have no experience with Triple K. Some people say they like them and some people don't like them, so if you want to try Triple K, I guess you can try them. I don't have any experience with them, so I cannot tell you whether they are good quality magazines or not, but as far as fitting into the gun, I believe they will fit into the P85. So I hope that clears up that point that so many people make in their P-Series videos, but they never actually show or explain why it doesn't work. So basically, if you have a P85, stay away from these magazines. If you are like me and have a P85 and a P89 or a P95 or any other later P-Series pistol, these will work in the newer ones, but they won't in the old ones. So if it was me, and it in this case it is me, now that I know this, I'm not going to waste $10 more per magazine on a Ruger factory magazine. I'm going to go with the Mekgars because they'll work in all of the P-Series 9mm, and they're about $8 to $10 cheaper. And in my opinion, they just look nicer. I mean, this is a nice polished finish. The older ones, they are a little rough and got a little rust on them, but this is a polished blue. But The factory magazine is kind of a matte stainless steel, and it's just not as pretty. It's not as slick, and even pushing it into the gun, it's not as smooth going into the gun as these three. So anyway, that's the point I was going to make with not all magazines will work in the P85. So if you're going to get a P85, just keep that in mind, that you might have a little trouble finding a good magazine that'll work in the P85. If you have a P89, a P93, a P95, you're good to go. Any of these magazines will work. So subscribe to my channel, like me on Facebook. I'm Redneck Mini 14, and until next time, be safe.